South African politics has never been short of drama, and once again former President Jacob Zuma has placed himself at the very center of it. At a recent MK Party gathering, Zuma compared embattled KwaZulu-Natal politician Mkhwanazi to Arthur Fraser, the former spy boss who blew the whistle on the Fela scandal, while launching a scathing attack on President Cyril Ramaphosa and Public Service Minister Mchunu. His words sparked both applause and outrage, because whenever Zuma speaks these days, it is never just about the man himself. It is about the future of the ANC, the rise of the MK Party, and the direction South Africa will take in the lead-up to the 2026 elections. To understand this moment, we need to revisit the history. Jacob Zuma's political story is one of the most remarkable in South Africa's democracy. He rose through the ANC during exile, becoming intelligence chief and eventually president in 2009. But his presidency was plagued by corruption scandals and deep divisions. By 2018, Zuma was forced out and replaced by Cyril Ramaphosa, who promised a new dawn. 7 years later, the ANC is still haunted by those divisions, and Zuma has returned to the stage as leader of the MK Party, a populist breakaway that has quickly built influence, especially in KwaZulu-Natal. Zuma's comparison of Mkhwanazi to Fraser was no throwaway line. Fraser, the former intelligence head, accused Ramaphosa of covering up the theft of foreign currency from his Fela farm. His actions cast Ramaphosa in a shadow of suspicion, even though many saw Fraser as politically motivated. For Zuma's base, Fraser was a truth-teller who dared to take on the powerful. By invoking Fraser's name, Zuma tapped into that same image of resistance and victimization. Mkhwanazi, now facing allegations of corruption and mismanagement, is being painted by Zuma as a victim of political targeting. In Zuma's telling, Mkhwanazi is attacked for refusing to align with Ramaphosa's faction, just as Fraser was vilified for exposing Fela. Zuma's declaration that truth cannot be buried, no matter how much power you hold, was crafted to rally supporters who already feel marginalized. But Zuma's remarks went further. He accused Ramaphosa of using state institutions to protect allies and punish rivals, and he criticized Minister Mchunu for abandoning workers and betraying ANC values. This narrative of betrayal is key to Zuma's strategy. It allows him to position himself as the voice of ordinary people, while casting Ramaphosa and his ministers as elitists. What makes this effective is how it taps into real frustrations. South Africa faces unemployment, poor service delivery, and endless corruption scandals. By defending controversial figures like Mkhwanazi, Zuma is not only protecting allies, he's presenting them as martyrs of a corrupt system. To his supporters, this feels like justice. To his critics, it looks like shielding corruption under the guise of resistance. Analyst Susan Boysen explains that Zuma is trying to reframe accused figures as whistleblowers and victims. This resonates with his base but deepens divisions, reinforcing two competing realities. One where Ramaphosa is a reformer, another where he's abusing power. Both cannot be true, yet both are widely believed depending on political loyalties. The ANC has largely avoided direct engagement, dismissing Zuma's remarks as rhetoric from a breakaway party. The presidency insists Ramaphosa respects the independence of institutions, rejecting Zuma's claims as baseless. Yet Zuma's words dominated headlines, proving he remains a master of framing the political debate. He knows exactly how to capture attention and remind voters of lingering scandals that the ANC would prefer to move past. Looking ahead to 2026, the MK Party is not just a sideshow. It has real influence in KwaZulu-Natal and could expand further, potentially becoming a kingmaker in coalition politics. By portraying Ramaphosa's ANC as hypocritical, Zuma is positioning his party as the true voice of the people. But there is risk. If evidence against Mkhwanazi proves strong, Zuma's narrative could collapse, making him look like an enabler of corruption. What's also striking is how Zuma continues to thrive in factional politics. The ANC is caught between those loyal to Ramaphosa and those nostalgic for Zuma's era, despite its controversies. That internal split gives Zuma leverage. He may be outside the ANC, but his presence forces the ruling party to constantly defend itself instead of setting the agenda. And that is perhaps Zuma's biggest strength. Even when not in power, he shapes the conversation. The future remains uncertain. Zuma could turn growing discontent into real electoral gains, or Ramaphosa could succeed in convincing South Africans that institutions are acting fairly. Much will depend on how voters interpret these competing stories, whether they see Zuma as a fighter for justice or as someone rewriting history for his own survival. What is clear is that Zuma has once again placed himself at the center of the national conversation. His fiery speeches ensure he stays in the spotlight, and by invoking Fraser and Mkhwanazi, he has kept corruption, accountability, and fairness at the heart of political debate. As the 2026 elections draw closer, these tensions will only intensify. So, what do you think? Is Zuma exposing hypocrisy, or is he protecting his allies? Could the MK party reshape South Africa's political future, or will it fade like other breakaways? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this analysis, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for more deep dives into South Africa's political landscape.